story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington.
For many weeks, Russ Gehring, a physical therapist, has been treating Allison Mackenzie. During this time, he has known the identity of the hit-run driver who caused her injuries. Now, he can no longer withhold this information.
Just take your time, Mrs. Fowler. Mr. Fowler, perhaps we should put this off until a little...
No.
I went to visit someone who lived at the beach. Thank you. I was very upset. As I drove down the beach road, the sun was setting. And the sun was in my eyes. I didn't realize I'd hit her until a second after it happened.
Oh, where'd you go after you drove away from the scene of the accident?
Went home.
And was the front of your car dented as a result of the accident?
Yes.
Did you have the dent repaired?
You saw the garage report, Sergeant. We all did.
I still have to make a formal statement, sir. You know that.
Yes.
Here in town?
The morning after it happened, I deliberately drove the car into the garage post to cover up the dents I made when I hit Allison Mackenzie. Do you have something for the pain in my head?
Oh, sure, Miss Fowler.
Oh, that's all right, Sergeant. I'll get it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fowler, I tried to phone you. I wanted to talk to you. It's about the Allison Mackenzie case.
I know.
I've got to talk to you.
Was there anything else you wanted to tell us,
I had no excuse.
It's open. Close the door. Open doors create drafts and encourage eavesdroppers. Oh, hello, Rod.
You busy?
Yes, I am.
This is an advance on your fee.
Now, wait a second. 1,000. What's this in honor of?
My 21st birthday.
So Martin Peyton's playing the benevolent grandfather.
Well, Dad wanted to give it back.
And you didn't?
I thought you could use it.
Well, I can't. Thanks.
I hope now you'll keep me posted on our progress now that I'm paying part of the freight.
So that's the catch, huh?
I got your message, Stephen.
Sorry it had to be that curt, Mr. Schuster, but you were out of your office and we don't have much time.
If this is personal,
Yes, it is personal, and it involves you, Rod.
Sit down, Mr. Schuster.
No, thank you.
I'm going to have to subpoena Kim.
Yes, and why?
didn't
She's
you...
a child.
Wait a minute, Stephen, didn't you cross-examine her at the hearing?
Well, the jury wasn't at the hearing, neither was Judge Jessup.
Well, can her testimony be read into the record?
Yes, of course it can. So why subject it to another personal appearance?
Please, both of you. I know it sounds cruel, but the jury must see Kim.
What great fun for them to be able to stare at a handicapped child.
You're twisting this.
Am I?
They must see with their own eyes that Kim could not possibly have heard Rodney say anything to Joe Chernock on that wharf.
She was the only eyewitness.
Can't her deafness be read into the record, a simple fact of her deafness?
They've got to see it.
Are you sure, Stephen? Are you absolutely sure? She's a child.
I want you to know that my daughter has made a very painfully slow recovery from that hearing, and it's only been in the past month she's made any real progress at all. If you insist that she comes back here, and she has a setback again, I'm going to hold you personally responsible for anything that happens to her.
Well, that's a risk I'll have to take. I'll level with you. I need Kim on that stand again to get at the truth. Rodney's added to the story of the fight considerably, but I need verification. Now, if there's any possibility your daughter has seen anything...
She told you everything she saw. I'm trying to protect my daughter. Her health is at stake.
And Rodney's life is at stake. Now, how long's Kim been back in New York?
What difference does that make?
Well, it hasn't been that long. It hasn't taken her that long to readjust.
How can you be the judge of that? Now, do we need her? Are we going to lose without her?
We could. The issue is clear-cut, isn't it? What's more important? The immediate adjustment of an unstable child or Rodney's life?
I'll call Mrs. Schuster tonight. Kim will be here.
John, I realize what I've done to you. I'm sorry. The wife of the district attorney is the one whose car struck down Rodney Harrington's girl.
It'll be easier for you if you avoid public places till your arraignment tomorrow.
Thank you for the advice and the bail. I think I could have spent the night in a jail cell. I'll stay at the inn.
Now, that's silly.
Is it?
Let me take you home.
John, I've got to see Allison.
Marian, that's admirable, but it's not necessary.
I came back here for one reason. I've got to see Allison.
I'll take you to the hospital. Too late, am I?
No. Hello, Rodney.
Hello, Betty. Well, I'd better get upstairs and see if Dad's ready.
Have a drink with us, why don't you? It's early.
Well, maybe you...
Now, I'll be insulted if you don't let me buy you a drink on your 21st birthday.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Harrington. There's a table there. There's a call for you, Mr. Cord, at the front desk.
Thank you. I'll be right back. Order whatever you want. You're deductible.
Thanks.
A Rob Roy for Mr. Cord and myself, please.
I'll have a vodka and tonic with lime, please.
Fine. I've been thinking about what happened on your birthday.
So have I.
What conclusions have you come to?
Ladies first.
I shouldn't have come to your room. It was asking for trouble.
Oh, I'm so tired of that word shouldn't. I think you wanted to come. And I know I wanted to kiss you, and I don't see what's wrong with that.
Don't you know?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
We don't trust each other. But we want each other as trophies.
That's not true. Thank you. Not for me, at least.
You're just hungry for someone to hold and to kiss. And I was available and more willing than the second floor maid. If Allison were completely well tomorrow, and I mean emotionally, too, wild horses couldn't keep you away from her. And that leaves me playing second fiddle, as usual. I wish I could stop myself, because every time I think you need me, I come trotting. I guess it's compulsive.
You started out by saying all you wanted was a trophy.
Because maybe that's all you are to me, a trophy that I lost. I don't know.
Happy trophy, honey. Tell me something, Betty. Why do you go out with Stephen Cord? If you have this so-called compulsion for me.
I'm a rather important, rather special girl to him, which I never was to you. I'm a person to him, a person that he admires, not just a good-looking girl. Not the prize of the senior class or the girl you take to the pond.
No, Betty.
Don't let me interrupt you.
Well, I better get up the room and see if Dad's ready.
You haven't finished your drink, Rod.
Yes, well, I'm not used to hard liquor.
You know, I had a distinct feeling that something intimate was going on between you and Rodney before I showed up.
He intimated that he didn't like you, and I intimated that I did, that's all.
Will there ever be a real that's all between you and Rod? Maybe if I lose the case? Or would you feel an even stronger loyalty towards him if they put him behind bars? Quite possibly. So I'll lose no matter how you cut the cake. With you and Martin Peyton, the only two people that matter to me. If Rod's acquitted, he'll be back on the chips with both of you in a matter of a week. If he's not, my head will roll.
You wouldn't deliberately lose the case, would you?
Maybe I would.
Stephen?
Maybe that's not such a bad way of getting him out of your system. Would that work?
I refuse to answer that on the grounds that I hate to be teased.
Especially about Rodney.
Oh, stop it.
How about dinner?
Only if you promise to talk about something trivial like Cuba or Red China.
Anything but Rodney Harrington.
Yes, Stephen. Anything but Rodney Harrington.